Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Odd Ones. Today, we're going to be starting these books. We are literally just going to read through each one. They are the Don'ts for Men, and we're actually reading the Don'ts for Women. I'm just holding this one.
Don'ts for wives?
There. Oh,
Well,
that's.
I said don'ts for men.
Oh, it's husband.
Oh,
I'm stupid.
rude.
Okay. These books, I'm just being
That's in the
sarcastic,
don't
Claire.
book.
Oh, what?
I don't know. I made that up.
These books were written back in 1913, so I'm very interested. It's been a while. I used to listen to or watch a lot of Wrangler Star, and if you don't know,
Free.
he's gone crazy. If you don't know, he was kind of like a man's man. He would be like the guy that teaches you how to sharpen an axe or how to cut down a tree and all this other stuff.
Very
But
traditional husband.
yeah, that's actually what he gets judged for a lot, is being a trad husband with a trad wife who cooks him breakfast and stuff. It's really weird. I don't understand people who are against traditional wives and husbands. Like, what if the wife just wants to stay home and be a homemaker and the guy just wants to go out and work? I wish I had that ability for you. I wish neither of us had to work, honestly, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Each of these, I was actually kind of shocked. Each of these are both 73 pages, so very evenly spaced. Some people, this is one point of contingency that I've heard about this book, is some people might judge this book, specifically the husband one, because it is written by a woman. Her name is something Blanchett. Um, Blanchett Ebut. Ebut. Ebooty. But I don't really understand that either. She's just giving perspectives here. You don't have to follow them.
Oh, everybody
But
judges everything.
yeah.
Can we preface very briefly that while we are not a traditional family and we both work and we both bring in income and I feel like when it comes to being at home,
Mhm.
that we do live, even though we are in a DS relationship 24/7,
Mhm.
and we have a alternate lifestyle
Mhm.
that for the most part, your desire is for me to be a trad wife,
Yeah.
and my desire is for you to be a trad husband, but we just don't have the means to do some of it, A, and B, I think that there are some things that I'm sure we're going to learn some things. So we're going to get right into the don'ts for wives. Buckle up, ladies. If you are a feminist, get your haterade on, because you're
I don't
about
know if
to.
that's true or not. 'Cause
I've read some of this.
oh, okay.
So the preface is, art is a hard mistress, and there is no art quite so hard as that of being a wife. Mm.
Hmm.
So many women exhaust their artistic power in getting married, which is, after all, a comparatively easy business. It takes a perfect artist to remain married in the perfect sense of the term, but most of us have the content to muddle through. Imagine a girl called upon without a single lesson to produce a lot of tunes. In fact, never one ending succession of harmonies from the most difficult instrument in the world. Note that the instrument not only gets grumpy in the cold weather and skittish in the spring, not only slacks or breaks its strings from every change of temperature, but becomes tempestuous over a tight shoe. Yep. Broody over an out of day egg, a cross, sulky, or uh, mirthful reason for, hang on, redo, but becomes tempestuous over a tight shoe, broody over out of date egg, a cross, sulky, or mirthful for reasons that no sane woman can understand. That is what the average wife has to reckon with. And if she intends to play the game, humiliating as some may think, he will loom largely on the horizon for all her life. I hope she may find it worthwhile to take a few hints from the old hymn. What I take from that is that sometimes we don't get what's going on, and things can get, like, if you get grumpy, it can get hard, if you whatever, because you guys aren't men are not as express. I'll speak on your behalf. You're not as expressive about emotion. You do get very stiff and rigid when you are dealing with stress, and even if I'm like, what's going on? Nothing. Even though your demeanor changes, but when things are, um, you know, things are easy and everything's happy, like sometimes you kind of get lax and you're like, whatever,
Yeah.
not really attentive in the way that in 1913 things would have been said.
Yeah. About that, I'm not justifying anybody being angry over a rotten egg or something like that.
At the
My
time, though,
my thought about it though, right? If you and I were a trad husband and wife, where you stayed home and took care of everything, all of our kids go to school, so you have that whole time to make sure everything is in line. I would probably not be angry, but I would be kind of cross if I came home and the eggs were rotten, or like my boots weren't how I need them, like my home shoes weren't how I need them, or certain things like that, because you've been home. It's different if you have young children, or you're homeschooling. That's different. I'm not saying anything about that. But if I if I left for work and I worked 12 hours a day every day and came home and I was like, all right, I'm just wanting some cereal or something and the milk spoiled. Well, that is your job. Like, your job is to make sure that those
this is
things
going to
are.
be very controversial.
I know.
I'm okay with it though, because I also think the the opposite point of view is that, and we haven't read both sides. I think, again, like I'd like to take this, not try and power through it, but actually talk about that, because I do want to be, my heart's desire is to be as traditional of a wife, even if I'm the breadwinner, or like I carry whatever,
Mhm.
whatever the work burden is of my own. When I come home, I try to be submissive to you,
Yeah.
as if I were in the 1913's book. But it also requires, especially if you are in a relationship where you want to take these into fact, that you are also held to a standard that you have to do your job,
Yeah.
which makes me, anytime that we are in a good dynamic where like you're doing what you should be doing as a husband,
Mhm.
it only encourages me to do what I want to do as a wife. Like if
Yeah.
you set an expectation and you follow through with it, then I have way more respect for you than when you're like, yes, we're going to do this. And you're like, oh, well, never mind.
Yeah.
Or, I'm going to take care of this. And you're like, oh, well, I got tired.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
no.
that does bring up a good point of, yeah, I'm saying this stuff like, hey, these are your job. If you were a trad wife and your job is to get the groceries, tend to the kids, do all these different things, that is your job. And if you fail, then that's just like me failing at work. It's the same thing. But the flip side of that is, okay, I have to work, I would have to work. I would have to provide all the money, insurance, all these different things, and then also come home and be the father, take care of that job. That's a whole nother job. And also do any kind of housework, because that is also my job. So,
And there are seasons that will happen
yeah.
unintentionally. Like if someone falls ill or someone falls ill or whatever. That's my crazy. That's old school.
Cuckoo.
Exactly. Um, but I mean, I agree.
As soon as you spun your finger, that's what I thought.
Um, I wish I could have had like a cuckoo bird right there. So we're gonna get into it says don'ts for wives' personalities. Don't think that there is any satisfactory substitute for love between husband and wife. Respect and esteem make a good foundation, but they won't do alone.
Mm,
And I think that when I read that, there's no substitute. Like I can't get the love that I can from you from anyone else, and I shouldn't. Um, but respecting you and holding you esteem may make a good foundation, but alone that they won't do that. Like, okay. And I think that's probably true for husbands as well. Like, you can respect me and care about me, but if that alone is not going to keep me satisfied.
yep. Yeah, I mean, they hit the nail on the head. Love isn't everything.
Hmm.
Respect isn't everything. Those are two of the top tier of being in a relationship. But there's also just like taking care of one another, whether it's being sick or not, taking care of one another.
I think it actually said the antithesis of what you're saying.
Oh,
Don't think that there is any satisfactory substitute for love between husband and wife.
read the whole thing again.
Don't think that there is any satisfactory substitute for love between husband and wife. Respect and esteem make a good foundation, but they won't do alone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's try, sucker. Try to get out of that real quick.
It just said respect is an important thing there, Lara. Calling me a sucker is I'm just kidding. But no, yeah. In my view, love isn't everything, and what?
I'm about to have a disagreement on camera. Go ahead.
Why?
Love isn't everything.
I can listen. You and I both have been in bad relationships where we thought we were in love, but because they didn't do anything else,
That's why we're divorced.
I know that's why I'm saying love isn't everything. You and I love each other, but there's a hell of a lot more than just love in our relationship.
Well, a lot of what
There's a
we
lot of respect. There's a lot of work on both of our parts. There's a lot of different things that we have brought to the relationship other than only love, not just, but only love.
but I think a lot of what we do for each other is out of love.
Yeah. And respect and all these other things.
Right. They make a good foundation, but they won't do alone.
Mhm.
Don't be surprised if you married for money or position or fame that you only get money, position, or fame. Love cannot be bought. I don't know anything about that because
Agree
we
with that.
came in broke and built from here, and not for me.
But I agree. I mean, if you're a sugar baby, you're always going to be the sugar baby. You're never going to be the
Unless you're into that.
the one that's getting the love that you're wanting, you know?
Right. Don't think that because you have married for love, you can never know a moment's unhappiness. Life is not a bed of roses, but love will help extract thorns. This one really hits home. Like, there are definitely things that you're going to go through. There are going to be hard times. I I think for me, I saw the microphone move. The fact that love will help extract the thorns. When you stop loving each other through the hard times or being open or having conversations, that's when it's going to be hard. I think about the hardest thing for me would be, if you lost a child,
Mhm.
how you would navigate that. And it would only be through love that you could navigate those hardships because they're going to happen. We've had our own hardships, and some of the hardest times have been feeling, for me personally, like I was afraid that you didn't love me anymore because you were struggling with your own feelings and how to express it, or the times that you probably felt like I didn't love you because of what we had going on.
Yep.
Don't expect, I feel like she just wants to make sure you understand. Don't expect life to be all sunshine. Beside, if there are no clouds, you will lose the opportunity of showing your husband what a good chum you can be.
A chum.
Hey, chum, that's your new nickname.
Hello,
Chum.
I'm chum.
Welcome to the chum bucket.
Oh,
I mean, I think that to me is, a foundation of friendship.
yeah. Yeah.
Can you zoom in on your face for 1 second? Just say yes.
Sure. Why?
Thanks.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. She had to adjust her undergarments.
Thank you.
But read that one more time. Sorry.
This is all weather related. Don't expect life to be all sunshine. Besides, if there are no clouds, you will lose the opportunity to show your husband what a good chum you can be.
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes into the same sort of, not same category, but same kind of category as like, you know, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Or
Having those rough times, those valleys in a relationship, as long as they're not predominantly the valleys, I think that makes you grow respect and grow closer together, on the
trauma
other side of
bonding,
that.
man. Trauma bonding.
Okay.
um, and don't look at the black side of the cloud. It's only a shadow cast by the silver lining,
Mm,
like the dark side of the moon,
yeah, that's a good.
where all the
Okay.
aliens live. Doo, 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 doo.
They live in Alaska. What are you talking about?
Bermuda
Alaska,
Triangle,
freaking
the ocean.
the North Pole, South Pole.
No, they very specifically said somewhere recently. Anyway, look it up. TikTok knows all about it. Don't lose.
Most of these people can't get on TikTok. You are Lara, just so y'all know.
No, TikTok is back. Press Trump.
I can't download it.
How many times have you tried?
Pretty much right whenever they said they banned it, so it might be back. But if it's not back, Lara has it. She has it on her phone. She didn't delete it. She's one of you lucky fools that freaking
I'm not a lucky
never
fool.
got rid of it.
Everybody's back.
If she would have sold her phone right then, she would have got like $10,000 for it.
I'd have sold that
Yep.
hot quick.
Would have paid it off.
Don't lose heart when life seems hard. I feel like this is kind of redundant. Look forward to the corner you are bound to turn soon and point it out to your husband. What they're trying to say is like, all right, shit's getting real. It's going to be hard, but it can't last forever. Don't forget that, chum.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good one. I feel like these are fortune cookies, like just good little tidbits of information.
And then there's at the back of this there are some numbers you can play in the lotto.
Oh
Don't
my gosh.
moralize by way of winning back the love that seems to be waning. Don't moralize by way of winning back. Make yourself extra charming and arrange delicious dinners, which includes all of your husband's favorite dishes.
Hello,
This bitch
kindness.
said, listen, get your man back by cooking a good dinner. If he's mad at you and you think he don't like you no more, go make some sheep herder's pie because it wasn't shepherd's
What
pie.
she's saying in this is freaking make him some good food, get that gorilla grip, and you're good to go.
Minus the gorilla grip. But yeah, wait, and everybody, I say everybody, but it's
You
not
know
a
what? That would if she lived now, that is what she would say on TikTok or something.
maybe depends on what your husband's into. But the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, is
Yeah.
today's terms. Don't put showy qualities before honesty and uprightness in your husband. Don't put showy qualities. Don't put showy qualities before honesty and upright in your husband.
Hmm.
They'll be flashy.
Yeah.
Oh, look at my nails, look at my purse, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be honest with him and then show those things. You reading this makes me realize how much dialect has changed just since the 1913s. It sounds like the struggles that you're having. Obviously, I'm dyslexic, so I can't say anything. Maybe I will read the men's one, and y'all can really see a struggle. But, um, like,
As your wife, your trad wife, I'm going to read this for you.
no, it's okay. But for me, it sounds like you're trying to read like
Greek.
King Giant, King James,
King
King James.
So King James, chum.
It sounds like you're trying to read the King James version of the Bible, though.
Right. Here, let me. I didn't know where I was at. Okay. Don't despise sound common sense because he doesn't indulge in brilliant inspirations.
Mm.
Could you get past the accent?
A little bit. I
Okay.
need you to repeat it again.
and and like my regular voice. Don't despise sound common sense because he doesn't indulge in brilliant inspirations. If I have never read another Bjorn Wallace, Lara Wallace relationship here, like, all right, common sense is great. You may not indulge in all of my eccentricities and things like that. Like I might go on this whole rabbit hole and you're like, no, that's stupid. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. No, that's stupid. Don't do that. You're gonna have to move that table. Where, I'm like, I love these brilliant inspirations, but I really hate when you shit on my parade or rain on my parade or shit my cornflakes. I don't know.
All of the above.
Yep. Don't expect your husband to have all the I don't know why I got so disgusted in what I was reading ahead of time. Don't expect your husband to have all the feminine virtues as well as the masculine ones. There would be nothing left for you if your other half were such a paragon.
That's not wrong.
All the
There's
feminine virtues.
there's no way for a man,
Mhm.
and same thing for a woman, but there's no way for a man to be able to be this conglomeration of masculinity and femininity. He can acquire certain aspects of it, but yeah, I mean, if you're, it kind of goes back to the third chapter of the gaming book. If I'm doing all of it, then you won't do certain parts. Like if I'm, taking care of all the feminine attributes, taking care of the children and the feminine ways that they need to be taken care of, and the masculine way, well, then you have no role.
Right.
You have pushed yourself out because you didn't assume those roles. But also, as the kids say nowadays, if I was to take on both roles and let the masculine part of it slip, and now I'm more feminine, like doing more feminine roles, uh, a lot of hetero women would consider that an ick.
Oh, it's hella.
Granted, there's like a million point list
We're
of
talking about
icks
us.
on
Ick for
social
me.
media.
I appreciate when you have softness or you care about my feminine. I hate this word.
I care about your emotions.
Femininity. Uh, when you respond or have emotion or you show me that you value me, like, so ways that I value you and show you that are when I work on the things you tell me to work on, that I tend to the house, you know, I set out your clothes, I cook food for you, make sure you have your energy drink, I make sure unhealthy, whatever your consideration is. I try to make it where you don't ever have to clean. I clean out your truck every day. Granted, those are more new now that we're in our, you know, dom sub relationship.
Yeah.
And my desire would be that you would take appreciation in that and meet my needs.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying to be emotional or feminine, just saying that as a man, there are certain things that only you can provide me. And that is in my mind, you know, safety and security, you know, dominance in the bedroom. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. You know, I heard a conversation recently about who should, like, the initiator in the bedroom. Now, obviously, like, there are female doms
Mhm.
who are like the ones who engage in that, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you're going to do what I say when I say it. But I remember there was a point where I was afraid to initiate intimacy with you because it made me feel very masculine.
Mhm.
And I don't know why. Maybe it was inherited. And maybe this book will tell me. Um, but I feel like if I'm doing all of these feminine things, that in my mind, the masculine role is to take your woman and care for her up to and including intimacy.
Yeah.
Or when she's having, like, men are fixers. So if I have a problem and I come to you and like, hey, this is bugging me, not to say that we can't share that burden because
Yeah.
like I'm proud of me for fixing, unless you touch it, the pantry door. Because I knew you were just like, let's just rip it out. I was like, but I can
I
try.
didn't say rip it out. I just said it needs to be replaced because there's parts literally broken off on it.
Right. I mean, the concept was rip it out, but we do need to replace it. Nonetheless,
You have redheaded violence.
um, I think this is the end of this section here. Don't be troubled because your husband is not an Adonis, which I would like to put a picture here because I can visualize it, but I don't have it. Beauty is only skin deep, and the cleverest men are rarely handsome, judged by ordinary standards. That's a lie. That's a lie because you are an Adonis and you're intelligent.
I think she's just saying like,
I know what she's saying, but I just want to put out there that you're smart and sexy.
and to her point though, is, you know, I'm not gonna be young forever. I'm not gonna have my charming looks forever. My smolder. That was
That was
smolder. That was
confusing.
a sus lie.
Right?
That was the what is it? The chill guy, the chill dog or whatever. I'm just chill, whatever. Anyway, you know what I'm
I
talking about?
cannot wait. I would really appreciate you slow mowing that. Like, do that look and then slow mo it because I'm going to do that when we release this, so I know how to see what look you're talking about. Like, I want you to compare it because I what I
Okay.
saw was way different.
Anyway, yeah, I mean everybody loses their looks over time. So and also their sharpness, you know, their intelligence to a degree. But you know, it's the person that you married, the emotional person that you married, uh, and the thoughtfulness of their minds and stuff that you know will be there to the day they die. They die, hopefully, as long as they don't get you know some kind of detrimental disease that alters that. What are you smirking about?
I'm going to read this next page just to because I have to. Don't worry about little faults in your husband, which merely amused you and your lover, pre being your husband, like you're farting, right?
Yep.
Sometimes it makes me mad, but yeah, I'm not. I'm not worried about it. If they were not important then, they are not important now. Besides, what are yours?
Mm.
I don't really think there are things that you did in the beginning. And I was like, "Oh, how cute," and I'm like, "You piece of shit."
Juliet's awake.
I feel like she came out of a sarcophagus, like the mummy came out of her.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all will be able to hear it, but Juliet just woke up and she's
No, it was way more
like she's in the living room and we can hear her in here. Um,
like the moths flew out of her. Anyway, I've got four more because I want to get down to this last one. Don't put on airs with your husband. If you can't be natural with him, you shouldn't have married him. Not a
mhm.
problem. Not a problem.
Yeah, there's a lot of women out there that I think the makeup has gone too far. I really do. Not for you. What?
Oh, I was about to
No, I'm
fist
saying in
fight because
general.
I
Like
tell you, you
normally
like it.
you don't normally wear a lot of makeup. And that's what I appreciate about you. I'm saying generally speaking, for the average woman,
Woman.
they it's just too much. Like,
Catfish AF.
yeah, I mean, and the sad part is like it could be a lovely looking woman and maybe she has a couple blemishes on her face or something like that. Otherwise, lovely lady, right? But she wears makeup so much that whenever she takes it off, she looks less attractive.
Right.
I have seen that in so many different people where they put on makeup, like just people on YouTube or whatever, where they just have makeup on all the time and then they take it off for one time and it's like, oh my, it's like a
Right.
shot.
We both went like
That's all. I was like, did that
There's
scare
some
you?
people I feel like you should let your husband see who you really are. Like if you're out in the club, obviously, or you're out in public, you want to put your best face forward. But if you're gonna like go on a second date with that guy, just be like, hey, can we have something more relaxed? Because I've seen some ladies who contour and some eyeshadow and all that are 10 of 10 because when you that's only three, but 10 of 10, don't ask. Um, anyway, you get what I'm saying. Don't expect your husband to be an angel. You would get very tired of him if he were.
Yeah,
There's balance to that.
imagine me being a goody goody two shoes all the time.
Okay. Done. No,
What are
I'm
you
just
saying
kidding.
here?
Um, I don't think it means you dicking around or you doing things that are hurtful, but I think like saying that, all right, so maybe you leave the shower curtain open sometimes, or
You're still on that
I'm
dang
not on the
shower.
shower curtain. That was just an example. I don't see unless it's something that's harmful to our relationship. I don't see many flaws in you because I just love you. I'm I used to say I was obsessed, and I'm trying not to use that word, but like especially when you are being what I consider a husband to be,
Mm,
it's really hard to see those things.
no,
Like they're endearing. Like, oh, I tripped over your underwear. Oh, his underwear. And then throw I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't doubt it.
No, I'm not a panty sniffer. I feel like I look guilty.
It's not panties, it's boxers. It's a difference.
The panties, they're all panties.
No.
Don't boast your
What?
my
You
bad.
sound like a goat.
I don't know why I'm grabbing it like a booby. Now I'm gonna grab
Booby.
mine.
What in the 1913 is going on here?
Don't boast your husband's money or birth or cleverness to your friends. It is nearly as bad as boasting your own. I have to say, clearly we're not boasting money or birthright around here. Somebody's thirsty and get nice around here. But I definitely, if it is brought up, talk about how clever you are. It's not like I walk around and be like, my husband's so smart. Oh, I hit myself in my brain. And clearly you're not talking about me being that way. But um, it's not like I walk around saying, oh, I'm so smart.
Yeah.
But if it comes up, I'm like, my husband's so clever.
See,
This is
it kind of mildly, and I think it's talking about two different things. I know they still get nice in there.
who's
It's okay.
they?
I don't
Why
know.
is it so loud?
It's an ice maker. Anyway, this mildly, and I think they're talking about something different here, but kind of contradicts what they say in the five love languages, which is talking positive about your husband and wife away from your husband and wife. That way, whenever they get around that
I
person,
think if it's brought up, though, I think that's what they meant.
yeah, I mean, like, I think what they're saying is like, oh my goodness, my husband is so smart.
What is a good old school name?
Bradford?
Thaddeus.
Thaddeus, what are we in Greece?
I don't know, just
In
call it.
Rome?
Adonis is definitely the most wealthiest of the men. I mean, this is 1913.
Yeah.
I think it's different than like, oh, I saw your wife today. I hate that bitch. Or
Yeah.
let me tell, venting to other people. But
And
this one,
the other thing, though,
yeah,
with that is a lot of people nowadays, I don't know how it was back then, but a lot of people nowadays, if they're over complimenting their husband and be like, "Oh, he has so much money. He is so good looking. He's all this,"
they broken ugly.
cheating. They're cheating.
Right.
They're cheating. Somebody's cheating in that relationship, or they just.
If he ever compliments me, you guys, you know he's the cheater because it's not me.
No, what I really mean by that is they don't like that person. I'm not reeling anything back. You let me be. But anyway, I said that in jest. But seriously though, one of the other doesn't like them. You know, if you're complimenting your spouse too much to other people, you probably don't like them. In those aspects there,
I'm
money.
going to dig you out of this hole. Okay. So
I don't need you to dig me out. I'm happy and healthy right here where I'm at.
don't tell all your women friends of your husband's faults, but that's it.
Is it
I
really?
swear for God. It says, don't tell all your women friends your husband's fault, but
What's the next
dash.
thing? What's the next one?
That's it. That is the end of that one.
What in the world? That's interesting. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Specifically, not your friends, but your parents and stuff. Don't talk to them too much about it because Larry and I've had trouble with that in general. But leave and cleave to the best of your ability. But yeah, just to finish up on what I was saying about that though is yeah, I totally agree that maybe if it's a super close friend, you can have these discussions with her like you and Rachel, or somebody like that.
I'm going to sit at your table. That's a very good point.
Have that person, but every other person, like if you have 10 friends, I wouldn't talk to every single one of them about every single thing that
I
I
don't know,
do
like a group chat or something.
because, a lot of them don't have your best interest in mind whenever it comes to that. They'll be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, just divorce him or just leave him or whatever." So,
And I, all things, serious, I guess some just and some not. The leave and cleave is a very good point, especially because your parents want to protect. But you do need to think about casting your pearl before swine. I think that's biblical. But if you got the hype girl who's like, can I cuss? Fuck your man.
yeah.
Forgive me, mom. Can you bleep that out? Just kidding.
Oh my God.
You don't need him. You should find a better man. You're too good for that. Or what does he do for you? Like somebody who doesn't have the fortitude to work out the hardest of times and hypes you into, oh, he sucks and gets you on that. Yeah, he does suck train
Yeah.
versus someone saying, that does suck. I've dealt with that myself. So what are you guys going to do about it?
Mhm.
Or, helps you think, okay, now maybe you're being a little intense. Or somebody who just listens and you're like, yeah, I get that. You want someone who wants you to be safe, happy, healthy, and also understand that you're not going to be in a perfect relationship. And I think to your point, if they think that they are delusional
Yep.
or somebody's rolling out in the middle of the night.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's everything for this episode. I don't know how long we've been recording.
Over for a while, a good little minute.
Okay.
I can lift up my skirt and tell you.
No, don't do that.
I have a watch on my panties.
What?
I don't know. When I said I have to lift up my skirt to tell you, I felt like I need to explain it. I don't have a watch in my panties, but I do have a stop clock in my skirt.
I have a timer. That's what she's trying to say.
Up my skirt right now.
Why is it up your skirt?
It didn't mean to be.
Okay. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that other good stuff. And yeah, as always, stay a little odd because Lara certainly is. We'll see you in the next.